Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacalyn. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. Jacalyn at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday, or maybe it's happy Saturday, wherever you are. Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. I'm the president, founder, and chief listening officer here at our network, where we currently have 29 live broadcasts each week. Our show today is at a different time than it normally is. This is a special event. Our show is presenting pet psychic AMINAH. So allow me to present her. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, it's great to see you, especially a couple hours earlier than normal. We're a little more bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. So,
well, it was the right day for the right change and the right time. We all seem to do that. You and I,
nice.
You know, the working relationship. It when it's right, it's right, and when there's struggles, there's a growth to be had. So I'm not against struggles because I've learned so much. I don't know about you. When I've fallen on my face, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to do that again, whatever it was.
We call that an opportunity for learning, right?
It really is, because sometimes some of us are, I'm talking about myself, a little slow to get to the message. And you go, you think the world's trying to talk to you right now? Because everything you've tried to do this isn't. Right. And I can't imagine it was easy putting this channel together in the show, and you had some ups and downs, but look at this huge success you've had because you persevered. So it's not that we're saying give up. We're saying listen to the cues, make a few changes. Sadly, I've met people and I have clients that are just, no, this is the right way. This is how it has to be. And this is something we're going to talk about today. And they just, nope, this is the only way I can have a pet. Well, how is it possible that you can go through the world and everything is black and white, you know, this or this? It's not. It's all gray. Everything.
You are so right about that. And I think that once we look into the gray, then we can also grow and we can appreciate other people, because it's not just my way. It's not just your way. It's our way. Yeah.
And exactly. Guess how many more friends you'll have? Just because if I wanted a friend and they were opposed to, I don't know, something that was a core value for myself, then I think we'd have a really short friendship. So there's got to be flexibility, sure, but some things we can't. It's a line we can't cross. And I've let friendships go because that was healthier for both of us, even if the other party didn't think so. At least on my side, it was time. It was time.
You did what was best for you, definitely.
Right. And I hope in the long run, I think having kept in touch with the circle of friends, that it was good for them also. It was a rough beginning because they didn't agree. But in the end, you know, and that could be 3 years later, 4 years later, 10 years later.
Or never.
Or they never get it, and you still didn't have to walk that path with them. You don't have to do anything. You have to show up and be kind, I hope, and thoughtful. But we have off days. Nobody's perfect, ever.
It's true. That's true. I would love to know your thoughts about Sunday for our reunion show. You were there. What did you think?
Gosh. The content is amazing. And that says something, because the world we're in right now, content is king, queen, princess, and everybody, because there's so much to choose from. You and I know that this digital world platform was not as saturated as it is now. So the great part for us viewers is you better be bringing your A game on content, because I'm not going to sit through another video and another this or cooking lesson or whatever if it's not the content I either want to hear at the time or I can use.
Yeah, very good point. You know, it's interesting, Amina, and I shared this on an earlier show, but my mom and I like to watch Dancing with the Stars. It's
Mm.
like a fun thing for
Right.
generations to do. And when my dad was alive, we used to watch it with him as well. And it was always on one of the network channels. And I don't really watch network television anymore. I watch pretty much streaming. And
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised to find out that it was no longer on the network. It was on Disney Plus, and you had to pay for it.
Yep.
So more and
That's
more people are going to the streaming services because that's where the viewers are.
right. Right. And if you are doing a business or anything commercial, slant to it, you have to be where your clients can find you. I
Exactly.
think what we're doing, giving so much away for free, I help clients all the time for free because I'd rather you do the right thing by your animals than worry about, can I pay rent? Yes, that's important. People are going to say that's ridiculous. No, I have other resources, but I also coexist with a daughter. So that's how we make it in a place like the Bay Area that is so incredibly expensive to live here. It's absolutely true. It's very expensive to live here. But
The rumors are true.
the rumors are true. We came for the job when we moved from Southern California and stayed for the education. And both my girls went to college here. So there were many, many opportunities, but it's not always comfortable and possible to thrive day to day. You just make a decision. Is this where and what I need to be? That might be it. I have a daughter that is in Europe still. And she went there for the
Or no?
yeah. Well, she went on she has opening her own practice. So she is a therapist, and she does that in Massachusetts. So she knows once she opens her own place, you don't get vacations. That's not a thing.
Vacation? What is that?
Yeah,
Stop.
should I send you a dictionary with little bolded words, especially
People
for
are like, I'm
you?
going on vacation. I'm like, what? What is
What?
it?
You mean I walked out the door and I had no agenda?
You know, I wasn't behind the green screen. Come on.
Yeah. So she luckily got stuck there for the pandemic, and is now married and has a wonderful family and is doing her thing and now working. So there are challenges everywhere, but you work within the means and the way we can. And what's wonderful is we are all now connected internationally everywhere, even the moon. I got to see that clip. Jumping around on planets because we now have the technology to do it. So can it be great? Absolutely. Can it be terrible? Absolutely. It's about you. How do you
Yeah.
use the tool? I can use a screwdriver to tighten the screws in the house, put new bolts on, the whole thing. But I also can poke somebody's eye out.
Wow.
There's
Great
a
example there. It's
yeah.
like, wow.
It's like, wait a minute, this is a tool of good. Well, I also know people who break into people's homes with these tools. So
Yeah.
again, it's you. What do you do with the tools we
Definitely.
give you? What do you do?
And that leads into our topic for today. It's somewhat of a controversial topic. And I
Yes, it
guess
is.
depending on how you receive the information is what you'll do with it. So tell us what we need to know when it comes to the truth about declawing your cat.
And I'm going to stick to, let me really be clear. I am going to stick to everybody the facts. I am a huge fan of Jackson Galaxy, and he is a cat 101 everything. If you haven't seen his YouTube, if you haven't seen his TV channel, please do so. So there are more people like that. Cesar Millan is absolutely the guru for dogs, and they are all about coexisting. They're all about, all my heart work is, how do we do this life together and get through it? So what I'm going to talk about today is declawing. It is, or can be considered, a very controversial topic, which it shouldn't be anymore. Our science, our knowledge, our ability to see 1 million cats, and I'm not kidding about the number. I've never counted them all. I don't know if anybody has, but that are getting their toes cut off This is not a nail trim. There are people who will do nail trims and buff the nail down. And there are people that believe that they can get a cat and they'll just cut the toenail off. That's not how it works. Think about your own hand. My nails are very short. I'm a gardener. It's not really conducive to gardening because I'd have dirt in my nails, but my nails are a part of my hand. So if you decide to declaw me, I want to keep this as pedestrian, as simple as possible, because the message is so, so important to me and every animal that has this procedure done. So, Dr. Jacalyn, if I let somebody declaw me, am I cutting off any of my finger?
You're going to rip out your nail beds, right?
No.
No.
Cut the finger. You cut the tip of the finger. This is what a cat is going through. They're going to take this and they're going to cut it off. How do you think it will feel if I pick up a bowl, if I hold a glass, if I shake somebody's hand, even if you do one finger? I don't know why you would. But
gives me the
cats are done, all of them, or the 3 longer ones. How do you think it's going to feel if somebody cuts off your tip of your finger?
It's going to hurt like you know what.
And it never stops. It never, ever, ever, ever stops. There's
all the nerve endings.
Yes, exactly. And somebody who's had nerve damage all my life, I can tell you, it's excruciating. Think about any time you stubbed your toe, walking along. How many of us have done that in flip-flops or sandals, and you hit something and you rip off the top of your toe, your big toe? It's miserable. I did that at least a couple times when I was a kid. How many times did I slam one of these lovely digits in a door because I missed the distance between the door and the shutting part, or accidentally somebody shut a door on your toe, or you dropped a rock on your foot? You got toes down there. How did you feel? Happy, sad, mad, glad? It was excruciating. So I want to make this personal because it is personal. An animal is looking to you for a good home, a good life experience, not copying out. And I'm sorry to use that term, but it really is you not doing the training. And there's tons of us out here who will do the training with you. We cannot teach you something and then you don't actually put it into practice in your own home. It was very, very, very popular 10, 20, 15, 20, 30 years ago that people were getting these cats specifically. They're literally taking the nail out. That's declawing. I have an amazing video. I'm going to put, and Dr. Jacalyn, just let me know where I can send all these links or pictures to you. What's
Is it something you want to share right now?
Yeah, if that's possible. It doesn't have to be. Can I just put it in the share?
Are you on YouTube or?
I actually got them in as digital files so I could just share them to you, share them with everybody. If we can't, we can't.
Yeah, drop it into the private chat and I'll.
Okay, we'll see what we can do. So here's the first word I really, really, really want everybody to understand. If you're going to do anything, you need to know what it's called. Did it come at all? Because it didn't look like it on my side.
No, I don't see anything.
Okay, then I'm going to just type the word out instead of giving you the graphic. So this is called an onectomy. Let's see if I got it spelled right. Ectomy. Okay, let's see. ONYCHECTOMY. So we're going to put that word up. I want you to know that when you are looking or have decided to have an onectomy, you are deciding to have the toes of your pet removed. So there are plenty graphics out there for that. If you don't see the ones we have, that is totally fine. But what they do, and this is very hard on a person's hand, but what they're going to do is they're going to take it about to the first knuckle. Now remember, looking at a person's hand, and so it's going to be with the toe. And that's going to be removed. When a cat goes in the litter box, we're talking about, of course, domesticated pets first. The ones outdoors, God forbid you take off their toes, they're going to be eaten by the first predator that comes by. But when the toes are removed, I don't care if you have them 1 removed, 3 removed, or all 5 or all 10, anyway, the damage is done. So when you have that toe removed, the pain that is caused from it never goes away. Animals, cats specifically, is what we're going to talk about, all will have that pain for the rest of their life. So they will drop, the way they stand will drop, and they will, because they use their toes for everything. But guess what? One of the best benefits that you will experience with a cat that has at least 1 toe amputated. Doesn't have to be all of them, just 1. Dr. Jacalyn, guesses? What would be the worst thing?
The worst thing?
Besides pain.
Oh.
With having a cat.
I think
day.
Psychological, just feeling like they can't trust their owner because the owner brought so much pain on them.
Absolutely true. I'm so glad you said it. I hadn't even gone there. I'm going structure. I'm going science. And I love that. I love that because somebody who would have cosmetic surgery, because this is not an illness. This is not a toe that they've ripped off. This is not a nail that they've ripped off. This is not fixing surgery. This is cosmetic, if you want to call it that way. So if you like a clean house like I do, I clean my cat's litter box. Should I say once a day? It's like 3 or 4 times a day because I don't want him walking on it. I don't want her walking on it. It's just like, I don't care about the sand all over. It's like, that just sounds gross. We don't even wear shoes in the house. So that's me. But let's say you clean the cat box once a day, I hope. Maybe if you're like a few clients I have, they do it once a week or once a month. Ooh, and they're walking all over it. Now the sand today is wonderful. It just sticks to everything. But a cat that goes in a litter box will leave it immediately when they have been declawed because it's excruciating. All that sand, all of the movement it needs to cover up their waste, which is a part of what a cat is. It's like asking them not to be 4-legged or something like that. But the pain that is left behind after an onectomy is excruciating. You will now have a cat that most likely will go outside the box at all cost. That means you're going to have poop everywhere, and worse, you're going to have pee everywhere. The poop can dry and you can clean it up. The pee is a little harder to find until you step in it. So there is just these terrible side effects besides the pain. And if you have never seen pictures of what a cat's foot looks like afterwards, they just like little gnarly. If you've ever experienced or had a relative that has osteoarthritis or any kind of arthritis in their hands extensively, their hands just look really tight and curled up. And they're very painful from what I understand. This is what your cat's toes are going to look like. And most of the time they do just the front ones, because everybody's worried about. A big thing I love that a lot of people talk about is, well, I have to do it because I don't want him to scratch the baby. Don't have a cat. There is no guarantee that the cat's going to scratch the baby. It's about training, education, and training. Cats can be directed to scratching posts. That's where they're supposed to scratch. And it can be as simple as a water bottle. You just, a little bitty water bottle, again, dollar store, easiest place ever. Put a little bit of water in there and squirt them a little. And what it does is it shocks and awe. And they go, ooh, every time I go to do that, that happens. That's bad. You get a little bitty water bottle. That's it. For me, I couldn't catch some of the cats when we adopted them. All of ours are shelter animals. So they came with all kinds of things that they're used to doing. So I've talked about this before. I have a Lazy Boy rocker chair. I love the thing, but the cats thought the back was the best place to reach up and pull their nails and come down. It's like, oh, no, 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 I'm not paying to have this reupholstered, especially when I first just got it. So Dr. Jacalyn, do you remember what I said I did to the back of that chair? And I actually did to the front of the couch edges also. Do you remember?
You're always getting things at the dollar store and you're putting them on there. I don't remember. You've got duct
This
tape
time
that
it's
you're using.
box
You've got
tape.
tape.
Absolutely, box tape, because it comes in those really wide strips. And I have one of those guns that you just take it across, and they go, well, but it's sticking to fabric. And believe it or not, the first time it sticks really well. Meaning, once you pull it off, you can't put it back. It doesn't do that. Cardboard maybe, but not chairs. So box tape, simple stuff. And why? Because the cat doesn't want something unstable. So the tape goes crunch, 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 and they're like, oh, not sure what that is. And then they might get their nails stuck in it. It's not as easy with the fabric where it just lets go. In other words, it's uncomfortable, it's noisy, they don't know what it'll do, and they don't know what it won't do. A cat will not participate in things of the unknown. If they can't see the bottom of a hole, the chance that they'll jump in there is about a 50-50. But some of us, it's just like, hey, let's just jump in there and see what happens. No, cats won't do that. They are very much about making really sound choices most of the time. So if your animal is, for example, going outside the litter box, there's a reason. This is not retaliation 101. I've seen people talk about, they're just getting back at me. Well, then you must be doing something in your world, in your behavior, that teaches that mode of conversation, mode of description, because it's not natural to a cat. Can it be learned? Sure, I think anything can be learned and decided upon, but I really cringe at the definition that my pet is being resentful. My pet is getting back at me. Oh, this is because I wouldn't give him a treat. We give our pets far too much human credit on the emotional scale and don't look at the logic of it. So let me back up. We're talking about declawing your cat specifically. And I am not here to judge you. I'm here to educate you. As with everything, I want to encourage you. I want to lift you up and say, there is a better way to do this. If you're truly, really, you're scared about your small children, please don't get a pet until you can monitor it full time, monitor your children full time. Because if your child gets hurt or decides to blame it on the cat when they broke something, I've seen it happen. Great grandma's vase just crashed and it was the cat. Of course it was a cat. And the cat gets spanked, gets hollered at, gets locked in the room, whatever, because we get angry. We're human. We get angry and we do things and maybe a little overzealous in the discipline area. But if the cat did nothing and or it was yesterday, they don't put those two together. You have to catch them in the moment. And I hope you'll catch them in the moment. If it's something as dire as, a whole kitchen counter of glass cups just crashed on the floor. Not safe for anybody. All those shards you will never, ever find. So educate yourself on whatever topic. There's a million YouTubes out there. There's a million peri-experts and experts all the time. I happen to have grown up on Jackson Galaxy and Cesar Millan and love them for the dog-cat issue. What is declawing? I'm going to be really simple. It's cutting the first knuckle where the nail is off. So imagine, I can't imagine how this works. It's excruciatingly painful. They cannot use the litter box. It is gruesomely painful, even when it's healed. They're missing the digit. They won't cover anymore. It's too painful, because from what we all understand today is it stays painful for their lifetime. So it is cutting all of that. You'll see a lot of arthritis in the animals that get this done. They're with arthritis, a lot of inflammation is seen, a lot in the hands, toe, and paw. It's called deknuckling. It's a type of the surgery that we're talking about, taking off that one section of knuckle. So think about that next time you want to do or read up. Cats are tiptoe walkers. Walk on their tiptoes. So if you're cutting these off, or you just do 1 or 3, it doesn't matter. You do 1. Can you imagine how painful touching the ground would be? So you want them to cover and go to the bathroom in the litter box. You've pretty much guaranteed yourself for that never to happen again, because it's too painful to have it done. So a cat is always in offensive reaction first. He's always like, whoa, wait a minute, what am I doing? They're not going to be the aggressor typically unless they feel attacked or some kind of aggression against him. They are in defensive mode. That's all. First, they will warn you, and then they'll step up each time that you're not listening to what they want to do. But again, I want to stress, litter boxes are a thing of the past of being very successful because it's so painful. If you have small children, they should never be alone with a pet. Never, ever, ever, never. An adult should be in the vicinity, hopefully in the exact same room. But some of us have living rooms and dining rooms where they're just a walk of a few feet apart from each other. So that, as long as you can monitor a child, any child, I would say 10 and under, need to have time to get used to, how do I walk the dog? How do I be safely around a cat? Cats will give you warnings. If you've ever seen them, they tuck their ears down, and you have to figure out, oh, when he does that, he's about to swat somebody usually, or he's trying to duck around. If your pets are avoiding a certain part of your family, honor that. It doesn't mean they have done anything, but the animal doesn't care for them for some reason. It's not just arbitrary, oh, well, you didn't color your hair, you didn't give me enough treats. Treats are a whole nother conversation. I am going to, up on my site, and Dr. Jacalyn, I will do this here, see if I can pick up the link. There is a wonderful video that Jackson Galaxy put out, and I am all for supporting everybody who's doing this work. So here is in the chat is the video that I really, really, really encourage everybody to watch from end to end. What I love about Jackson Galaxy for his balance. He's not also, where my heart worker, we are not blaming. We are not saying absolutely don't do this. We will encourage, we will help instruct, and we will hope you will do the right thing for the pet and the family, not what's best for the family. We don't recommend all the time small children having full access to pets, especially babies on babies. You have a kitten in it. It would be so great to grow up with them. Yes, that would be lovely to have that kind of long-term relationship. But you still need to make sure that you don't have a toddler that doesn't understand and pulls the dog ear and wonder why the dog turned around and bit him. I don't know about you. If somebody pulled my ear hard enough, I'd whine and cry and probably bite them if that was my first go-to. Luckily, I have digits and fingers and I can get up and walk away. But if you're seeing behaviors where the animal will not have anything to do with somebody, that should be their right. They don't have to like grandma and or you or your husband. That would be great. But animals still will go to places they feel safe. For me, I like the work of the harder animals. I've talked about that. I have one of my daughter's cats. She's now mine. Her name is Ren. And she is horribly, terribly shy about everything and everybody. She's the first one to go we have a closet and we keep the door open. So they all dart in there if first we have a guest or a stranger or a repairman here. She's gone. Do we bring her out, make her greet everybody because she's going to get over it? No, never. I wouldn't just, first of all, I wouldn't disrespect her that way. But second of all, it doesn't make me, her mom, a safe place. And I want all my children, fuzzy or otherwise, to feel safe in my presence, that I've got their back. Declawing is the same thing. If you are having elective surgery, which sadly it's still legal in the United States to do this, we really wish it wouldn't. You're taking away the protection on a defensive cat. They're not reacting to anything but what's happened to them. So, and remember, one of the biggest prices, I think, for me, cleanliness-wise, would be losing the cat box. But please watch the video and pay attention to what you're adopting. Going back to the shelters is very, very traumatizing for animals because they see all of them there and by themselves. And I know a lot of the shelters are doing wonderful work, but let's all adopt, not breed, please.
Thank you, Amina. You know, something I wanted to share with you is I had 3 dogs, as you know, had HAD, and one of them was abused, and she was beaten, and they broke her kneecap. So when I got her, she was a show dog, and then she couldn't be shown anymore. And then that's when I got her, and she was very angry, and she did not like men, and she would growl, and it was because a man was the one who hit her. So that made a lot of sense. And when I saw a man approaching or something, I would have to pick her up and hold her and say, it's okay, it's okay. But I understood that, and I tried to keep her away from men as much as I could, because now she wasn't like that to all of them. She was very nice to my dad, but to others, she just, she was afraid. And of course, why wouldn't she be afraid?
Right. Well, and the big question, a lot of people, I can hear them thinking is, well, wait a minute, why the dad? Why this guy and not the other one? What did they do differently? It's your energy. I was talking to a coworker type person. We always talk about, oh, we got to get this done. We got to get this done, talking about our work day. And I said, you know what? I've gone to almost working at least half my week at night. And I mean, midnight to 6 a.m. Because guess what? The whole world is quiet. It's calm. The energy for me, as I struggle with the injuries to my hands and other things, it's just like, no, the world just quiets down. I don't have to compete. Well, guess what? An animal is all about that energy. So what better way? I hope your dad, he understood that it was his energy because he was balanced and kind. There was no agenda for him. There was nothing he needed from the dog. There's nothing of, oh, all dogs love me. How many people have done this? Oh, all cats, all dogs love me. Oh, and they're like, yeah, not this one. They don't want that energy. An animal has the right to say, no, not that one. And you and I, as pet owners, need to be there for them. So I'm so thrilled that your dad got, and your puppy got to be loved by a good person. And the same with you. I mean, I talk about these. I've seen pictures of your puppies, and it's just like, there's love there for the rest of existence. And that's all I'm asking is people you can raise your animals just the way they want. I had a gentleman who was homeless. He lived in his camper. And his cats loved him, absolutely, completely devoted. They didn't want to go outside. They didn't want to do anything. They just lived in the camper, and because he was good to them. And they talked together and they walked the life together. And I've told you guys a couple of times, I love one of my older clients, and the dog, he's smelly, but he's mine. I never have forgotten this. Like, okay, that's a verse. And he, as I said, he took a lot of medication. He had a drinking problem, and I don't mean water. And yet he was kind. He was kind and gentle. And it was a great place to keep my horse, was at his ranch. That's all you can do, is try to show up and get the education. If you don't know something, go find it. Libraries are a tremendous source. It's digital and it's in real life, but the internet has got tons. If one trainer, one person doesn't resonate with you, I don't resonate with everybody. That's not how this works. You find one that does. It might be just one show or one talk that resonates more than anything. But again, it can be as easy as bubble wrap. I mean, if a cat or dog does not know what this is and it pops, I'm not going to ruin the bubble wrap, but I think yep, there, got a couple of them. This could be terrifying. First of all, it could kill your kids, so you don't want them eating it or licking on it. So it is a problem if it's any smaller. But you could literally put this on the seat of a chair, tie it down, use box tape where it won't hurt the chair. And that cat will hopefully go, oh, no, I don't know what that is, but I'm not going to get it up there. These are how simple, and the things I talk about training wise as outside the box. There's lots of great trainers, don't get me wrong, but you need to come at a problem sometimes from the left, not from the right or center. And that's what I'm here to encourage you to do. Just find the right trainer, find the right information. There's tons of stuff out there. I'm a huge fan. If you want to talk about cats, Jackson Galaxy is an amazing resource. And Cesar Millan for dogs. Those are my two passions, and I hope you will go and look at all the things that they have done.
Well, thank you, Amina. That was a great way to close out this show. That was perfect. Yeah, very nice. Another great lesson that you shared today. I know I just want to mention, I don't drink soda. I haven't soda in 30 years, but I know people who do. And I saw those plastic things that hold the bottles, the cans together. And I remember you said about that can be a choking
for
mechanism.
Children and pets, because they get in those rings. Oh my gosh. The saddest thing we've seen is in the ocean. And they only got in the ocean because somebody threw it in there. The trash was littered from a beach, whatever. It was us. It was humanity. Right. And then we've got animals literally that have now grown into their ring, and people stopping, luckily, even fishermen, and catching dolphins, catching big fish that have these horrible rings on and cutting them off, divers going down and just cutting the rings off. But we've caused so much damage to the planet. We're living the choices. Global warming is here. It's going to be. No, it's here. It's arrived. So a lot of times I used to get asked, why'd you pick up that piece of trash? That's so gross. I don't wash my hands when I go home. I'm not going to touch myself. But if I don't pick it up, who is? Because I have probably dropped a wrapper of some sort because I didn't know it wasn't still confined in my pocket. Have you ever gotten in your pocket and you got a gum wrapper or Kleenex or something? And then the person behind you goes, oh, you dropped this. I didn't know that.
Right.
There's innocence here too, but take responsibility. Pick up somebody else's trash and put a good energy in the world. Then go wash your hands.
Yeah. Well said, as always. And I hope that you'll join us on the Earth Show. I know Roland's going to think I connected you guys on LinkedIn. I think you would be a great guest for that show.
That's wonderful. I didn't hear about that one. Are you going to give us a 30-second commercial, or are we out of time? Because
We're almost.
I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, we're almost out of time, but yeah, I'll show it. So we have a new show. It's called The Earth Show. And Roland Friedel, who is in his motorhome traveling through Europe, and Marcin Krasuski, who is in Poland, have teamed together to host this show to make us aware of things that we can do right now to help respect Mother Earth. And it's not about finger pointing, it's not about blaming, it's about real things that we can do today. And that's what the guests will be speaking on. And the show is on Wednesdays, and it would be at 10 a.m. your time. So you'd be a great guest to have on there. But for now,
we're going to talk about poop that doesn't biodegrade.
I think that's definitely important. You can see AMINAH's presentation from the reunion show on the Sunday that just passed. That's over on our YouTube channel, USA Global TV and Radio, and that is under special events. So let's put your banner up again and just have you share your information for people who are looking for a pet psychic, people who are looking for a trainer, people who are looking to talk about global warming or how we can join together to respect Mother Earth. Please contact AMINAH and please give those details.
Absolutely. Bridging, BRIDGING, worlds, WORLDS.US. All one word. And I am a trainer. I am a vet assistant, a retired, and I spent over 10 years in a wildlife sanctuary working with lions and tigers pretty much, but all animals, and teaching people about coexisting. It is my platform. It is where I'd like us all to be. If I can help you and your pets be better, do better, then I also benefit. So this is heart work for me, and I'd love to help you anytime. And if you want to laugh and do silly things, then you have to join me on Facebook. And LinkedIn is not quite as silly. There's more educational stuff, but I'd love to have you. And that's it. All the places you can find me, and join us.
All right. Thank you very much. AMINAH and I are going to say goodbye for now. I'll be right back with my own Talking Heads episode today, and we're going to be talking about sales. Everything you need to know to be successful in sales. So do join me for that right after this show. All right. Thanks again. Bye, everyone. Bye, AMINAH.
See you next week.
Bye.